Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to install a motion detected camera with some lights on the back of the house on the patio here. I currently have a system here that is motion detected that goes on, but it doesn't have a camera on it. And so I picked up this new one from Amcrest that I'm going to install instead. The reason I'm going to go with this Amcrest model is I installed their doorbell version of their camera a while back. I'll put the link up above to that. And the reason I use an Amcrest rather than like Ring or some other proprietary models, because the Amcrest ecosystem is open, so I can connect it to my security system. Whereas if I went with a Ring model, I can't connect that to my own internal security system without having to pay for some of Ring's services. But this is a 1080p camera. It's got the lights on it. It will directly wire into the wire that's already there controlling those lights, and it comes with, some mounting screws, some wire nuts to hook up to the electricity, a mounting plate. It's got 2 installation guides. One talks about installing the plate and setting it all up. And so that's what this first instruction booklet is about. And then the second one is just about installing the app on your phone to connect to your phone. And so I'll be able to have my doorbell and this camera both connected to my phone, which will be nice. So let's get to the install. Let's get it done. So the first thing we got to do is we got to remove this old motion detected light I've got here. And it's got 2 screws on it here that it holds it into the wall. And so there's just 1 screw here. There's another screw here. See if I can hold this with my arm while I take the screw out so it doesn't fall. It is going to have the wires on the back side of it. Drop both of my screws. So this is connected to the AC of the house. So before you start playing with these wires, you should turn off the power at the breaker box. This outlet is switched from inside the house, so I have the switch turned off right now. So there shouldn't be any power here, but be sure you turn off the power before you go messing with the wires in here. And then inside of here you should have 2 sets of wires. You should have your neutral, which is the white, and you should have the black wire here, which is going to be your power. I get them all out of the box here. So this is just like, working with electricity at the house. These are like AC power, like I said. So you've got your black, which is your power. You've got your ground here, and then this one is the neutral that goes back to your power box. So those 3 wires will want to hook back up to the new light. The other thing we're going to want to take off is this bracket and put in the new bracket on that comes with the camera light that we have. So here's the plate. Here's the 2 wires I was talking about. Here's the black wire. That'll be your power. This is your neutral going back to your breaker box. And this is your ground. We're going to take these 2 screws out next to put the new plate on. And then we're going to have to loosen this ground wire off to get this ground loop off of here. Let's do that next. I'm going to go ahead and loosen the ground here first. Take that off of there. And then take these 2 out to get the plate off. Then here's a new plate that comes in the kit. It tells you which direction is up on it, tells you which side is front, and even tells you which side's down. We're going to loosen this ground here, loop that ground around that, tighten it back up to it, and then we'll mount this plate back where the other plate was. The kit comes with screws to put this all back together, but I'm going to go ahead and use the screws I just took the other plate out with to hook this back up. Since they came off of here, they should work just fine. Here's our ground wire. We're going to hook around that. And we're going to tighten that up. Then here's the two screws that we removed. I'm going to put one here. I'm going to put the other one back up here. We're going to screw those back into place. Sure those are both nice and tight. So that's our new plate back in place. We've got our power wire and our neutral and our ground. Next, let's hook up the camera to it. So here's the new camera. We're gonna have to wire those up. What I thought was really neat about this kit is it comes with this little hook that came in the kit. So I can hook up the lights with this little hook, and I can hang it here, and that'll allow the whole thing to kind of hang without me having to hold on to it and kind of, you know, hold the weight while I'm hooking the wires up. I thought that was pretty neat that I could do that with this. I'm gonna move it over to this side so I got the wires a little bit closer to it. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool that they put that in the kit so that you could hook the wires up without having having to hold the weight at the same time. The kit comes with wire nuts, but I'm going to go ahead and use the wire nuts that were on there previously to put it back together. So your white wire is going to go with your white wire. This is your neutral going back to your breaker box. Make sure that wire nut is on there good and tight. Make sure that don't pull off, so we got a good tight connection there. And then your black is going to go to the black. This is your power coming to it. Make sure that wire nut's on there good and tight. And then the last piece is to hook up your two ground wires, your two copper wires here, which are your grounds. I am going to use the washer or the wire nut that came in the kit for this part. So there's all three of the wires hooked up. We have our white hooked up, we have our ground hooked up, and we have our power. And we've looped our ground across the bracket here, so it's on the bracket to kind of ground that as well. Next step is to attach the camera. Well, next we're going to push these back inside of here to kind of get them out of the way, and then we will attach the base of the lights and the camera to the bracket. So I'm going to take this little hook they gave us out of here. Take that off of there. I'm going to push the black power in there and the white. Get it out of the way, and our ground. Get them all kind of snug back inside of there. So you can see I've kind of pushed them all back in there out of the way. Then this will snap over the front of that, well, cover over the front of that. And then we've got one long screw we'll put in the middle of it right there to hold it in place. So here's the one long screw that comes in the kit. It's like I found the spot there for it. Let's tighten that up. Gonna move these lights out of the way so I can get to it a little bit. Let's move that one light out of the way. I can get to the screw. I'm going to get that hand tight so it's on there good and snug. Now we've got that on there, then the next thing would be to adjust our lights how we want them. I'm going to tilt this light a little bit further down. And the same with this one over here. They've got these angle pieces here that you can turn to loosen them. And then when you loosen it, you can adjust the light. So I'm going to angle this one down like that. I'm going to angle this one down a little bit more too. And then the camera has the same kind of adjustment on it, where you twist this, and I'm going to turn this camera a little bit so that it's looking a little bit more this direction, since that's kind of where the entry is to the house. The entry to the house is on this side, so I'm going to kind of angle the camera over there. And we'll see how that looks. We might have to readjust the camera afterwards. But that's the camera installed. So that's all the steps we just went through to install the camera. Now it's time to install the app on my phone and get that connected to the camera. And like I said, I'd already installed the app before because I installed their doorbell camera, so that's the one that's up there. So we already have the app, and so we're going to go here and we're going to add a device, and then we'll scan the QR code on the camera, and then we'll get that set up in here. So this says to, I went and scanned it, and now it says to make sure the device is plugged in. It says a locator light on the device will turn on. Wait until the indicator light is blinking green, which means the Wi-Fi hotspot is ready. And then it'll take a few minutes before we go to the next screen. So I'm going to go turn the switch on to turn the power on to the camera. So I went and turned the power on, went through the setup in the phone, got it all connected up. I have it adjusted up there. You can see it's got a picture of me standing here recording myself. The one thing that I didn't like about it is the instructions said wait for the indicator light to come on, and I couldn't find an indicator light on it. And so I was unsure if it was turning on at the time and the lights weren't coming on, so I was like, is the device even working? But I went ahead and went through the setup, and now that I have the setup hooked up to it, you can use the phone to turn on the lights. So here's the phone button here to turn the lights on, and there you go. And I believe the lights are motion activated as well. I'll have to wait till it gets a little bit darker outside to see if I get that working or not. But there it is. It's set up and working. You can see it's recording me on the phone itself. So there we go. Lights all installed with the camera. Everything seems to be working as expected. The only hiccup was that indicator light that I don't see on it. Otherwise, it's good to go. Just be sure you turn the power off when you're hooking it up, because you are working with 120 volts. Otherwise, be sure and like this video, give us some comments, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We'd really love to have you, and we'll see you guys next time.